Have you ever wondered why synchronicities keep following you? Those moments when life seems to orchestrate the perfect meeting, the unexpected opportunity, or the repeating symbol that feels too precise to be random. Many people treat synchronicities as mystical signs that appear outside of their control, as if the universe is whimsically choosing when to communicate. But here's the truth most of us miss. Synchronicities are not random gifts, they are reflections. They mirror the state you are embodying right now, whether you realize it or not. Think of a mirror. It doesn't smile first. It waits for you to smile, and only then does it reflect the change back to you. Life operates in the same way. Yet here's the invisible mistake that keeps people stuck. We try to force the mirror to smile while our own face remains unchanged. We demand abundance while radiating scarcity. We long for love while holding on to fear. We pray for clarity while rehearsing chaos in our minds. The result is frustration, because the mirror, reality itself, cannot reflect what we haven't embodied. This is why so many intelligent, hardworking people feel blocked. They visualize, they repeat affirmations, they set intentions, yet nothing shifts. And so they start to believe the process doesn't work, when in fact it works perfectly, just not in the way they imagine. Reality reflects who you are being, not what you're wishing for. And until we align our body, mind, and heart into a coherent state, the mirror of life keeps reflecting the old self back at us. So let me ask you, if life is speaking to you through synchronicities, what exactly is it trying to say right now? Hold that thought, because by the end of this video, you'll see how to change the conversation. And if insights like this resonate with you, consider subscribing. This channel blends science and spirituality in a grounded way, helping you understand not just why reality mirrors you, but how to consciously change the reflection. What if the key to unlocking the synchronicities that follow you isn't about chasing signs, but about shifting the source they're reflecting from? The conventional belief is that if we think hard enough, visualize with more intensity, or speak the right affirmations, reality will somehow bend in our favor. But the deeper truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Life is a mirror, and it doesn't reflect your demands, it reflects your embodiment. That means the synchronicities you see aren't accidents. They are feedback, signals showing you exactly where your inner state is aligned or misaligned. Imagine adopting the archetype of your future self, the abundant one, the healer, the beloved. When you begin to embody that archetype in your thoughts, emotions, and actions, reality has no choice but to organize itself around that posture. Synchronicities appear, not as magical interruptions, but as natural confirmations that the mirror is working as it should. And this explains why people who seem deeply at peace, even without external success, often attract opportunities effortlessly. Their mirror reflects coherence. Meanwhile, those of us who force and strain, repeating the right words but carrying the wrong energy, find the mirror stubbornly fixed, reflecting back only what we truly embody. The invisible mistake, then, is confusing wishing with being. We wish for abundance, but if we're embodying scarcity, the mirror cannot betray that truth. This isn't punishment, it's precision. Life is reflecting the exact frequency we project. Earlier I asked, if life is speaking to you through synchronicities, what is it trying to say right now? Here's the shift. It isn't sending random clues, it's echoing you. The only real question is, who are you choosing to be in front of the mirror? That answer determines everything else. To understand why synchronicities keep following you, we need to look at how reality responds not to what you want, but to what you embody. Let's break it down step by step, because when we connect this to neuroscience and psychology, the process stops feeling mystical and starts becoming practical. First, consider your subconscious programming. Research suggests that up to 95% of your daily thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are run by unconscious patterns. These aren't random, they're the habits, beliefs, and emotional postures you've rehearsed for years. If your subconscious is wired for scarcity, fear, or unworthiness, then even if your conscious mind says, "I want abundance, love, or clarity," your body and emotions are carrying the opposite frequency. The result is that reality, acting as a mirror, reflects back the deeper state, not the surface wish. Neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza often explains it this way: the body becomes the unconscious mind. When we repeatedly feel the same emotions, those emotions trigger the same chemical states, which in turn influence our thoughts and behaviors. Over time, your identity, who you're being, becomes a predictable pattern, and synchronicities are nothing more than reality echoing that identity back to you. Now here's where the mirror metaphor becomes crucial. Just like a mirror doesn't smile until you smile, life won't deliver different synchronicities until you shift the inner posture first. That means embodying your future self before the evidence shows up. Think of it like tuning a radio. You don't wait for the station to play your favorite song before you turn the dial. You adjust the dial first, and the signal follows. Synchronicities are the signal that you've tuned into a new frequency. Those of us on this path often forget that we don't need to manipulate outcomes. We only need to align body, mind, and heart into coherence. In neuroscience, coherence is when brain waves, heart rhythms, and emotional states are in harmony. Studies on heart-brain coherence show that when people enter this state, not only do they feel calmer and clearer, but their entire physiology begins to synchronize. This inner harmony is precisely what reality mirrors back in the form of external synchronicities. Let's bring it into everyday life. Imagine you adopt the archetype of the abundant one. Instead of saying affirmations while feeling stressed about money, you begin practicing calm generosity, gratitude, and openness. Slowly, your nervous system adjusts, your posture shifts, you carry yourself with less tension. And then, out of nowhere, you meet someone who offers an opportunity, or you notice resources you had previously overlooked. The synchronicity didn't come from nowhere. It reflected your new state of being. Or take relationships. If you embody the archetype of the beloved, you start showing up with openness and trust instead of fear of rejection. Almost instantly, your interactions change. People respond differently. Coincidences appear where someone new shows up at the right time. Again, this is not magic, it's resonance. Life mirrored the shift you embodied. The reason this explanation matters is because it reframes synchronicity from a passive phenomenon into an active dialogue. Life is always speaking, but what it's saying depends on what you're being. That's why synchronicities keep following you. They are feedback loops, designed to show you the alignment or misalignment between your inner state and the reality you're projecting. And here's the empowering truth. If synchronicities are feedback, then every new reflection is an opportunity to recalibrate. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we can ask, "What part of me is this reflecting?" That single shift turns frustration into clarity and randomness into guidance. So when you see repeating numbers, meet the right person at the right time, or notice the universe orchestrating events in ways you couldn't plan, remember, these aren't accidents. They're confirmations that the mirror is reflecting your embodiment back to you. And when you consciously embody the archetype of your future self, synchronicities stop being surprising and start becoming natural. Now that we've established synchronicities as reflections of your embodied state, it's time to look at the most common ways people unintentionally block this process. Because if we don't see where we're sabotaging ourselves, we end up doubling down on strategies that can never work. One of the biggest missteps is treating synchronicities like rewards you earn only after proving yourself. Many of us think, if I just meditate more, visualize harder, or work longer hours, eventually life will throw me a sign that I'm on the right track. But notice how that logic puts the mirror outside of you, as if life is withholding validation until you've struggled enough. The truth is the opposite. Life is neutral. The mirror is simply reflecting your present state, not judging your worthiness. So the more you force, the more you reinforce the identity of someone who has to struggle to get results. Another trap is mistaking wishful thinking for embodiment. Saying affirmations like "I am abundant" while secretly feeling anxious every time you pay a bill, only widens the gap between your words and your state. The mirror doesn't reflect the words, it reflects the energy underneath them. This is why so many people feel like they're doing all the right things, but still seeing no shift. They're broadcasting mixed signals. We also fall into the habit of chasing signs rather than shifting states. Have you ever noticed people who obsess over angel numbers, lucky coincidences, or astrological predictions, hoping these will deliver certainty? The irony is that this very obsession stems from a place of insecurity, and the mirror reflects that insecurity back. Instead of seeing synchronicities as confirmation of alignment, they get trapped in hunting for signs, reinforcing doubt rather than dissolving it. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Many of us in this community have fallen into these patterns at some point. We force outcomes, repeat words disconnected from feeling, or chase external validation. And yet, every time, the mirror gives us honest feedback. It's not punishment, it's precision. Reality is simply too consistent to give us what we're unwilling to embody. Take a deep breath and let this sink in. The reason you haven't seen the changes you long for is not because you're lazy, undisciplined, or unworthy. The real issue has never been about your effort. It's been about the alignment of your effort. Most of us have been taught to push harder, repeat affirmations louder, and visualize longer, as if intensity could force the mirror to change its reflection. But the mirror doesn't respond to effort. It responds to embodiment. That realization should feel like relief, because it means nothing has been wasted. Every struggle, every failed attempt, every moment of frustration was simply showing you the old reflection. And once you understand that the reflection is feedback, not rejection, the entire game changes. Suddenly you see that your past wasn't proof of failure, but proof of how consistent the mirror truly is. And if it was that consistent when you embodied fear, doubt, or scarcity, imagine how consistent it will be when you embody clarity, love, and abundance. You don't have to keep fighting against yourself. You don't need to beg life to validate you. All you need is the courage to inhabit your future self right here, in this moment, in the way you breathe, the way you carry your body, the way you choose a single thought. From that posture, synchronicities don't need to be chased. They flow toward you like rivers finding the ocean, because the mirror has no choice but to reflect what you are now being. If that shift feels powerful to you, help us spread it. Like this video so more people can hear this message, because there are thousands out there still thinking they're broken when all they really need is to realign. Together, we can change that story. Pause with me for a moment and ask yourself, who are you being in front of the mirror of life right now? Not who you say you want to be, not who you plan to become someday, but who you are actually embodying in your daily posture, emotions, and thoughts. Sit with that question, because the answer will reveal more than any affirmation ever could. For those of us who've already started waking up to this, there's another layer worth exploring. If synchronicities are life's way of speaking to you, what conversation has been unfolding? When you notice repeating patterns, when you encounter the same challenge again and again, when you keep meeting the same kind of person in different forms, what is the mirror telling you about the state you've been carrying? Don't rush to answer. Let it breathe. Sometimes the most important realization doesn't come as words, but as a subtle recognition in the body. A loosening of tension, a wave of honesty, a quiet clarity. People like us don't need more noise. We need to listen more deeply to the feedback that's already there. And remember that earlier question. What is life trying to say to you through synchronicities? Hold it close, because we're not resolving it just yet. If synchronicities are mirrors reflecting your embodied state, then the most practical question becomes, how do you shift that state in a way that's consistent, grounded, and real? The answer isn't about making dramatic overnight changes. It's about choosing simple daily actions that compound into a new identity. Because it's consistency, not complexity, that transforms the reflection. The first action is to start your day by aligning body, mind, and heart. Before you reach for your phone, take 3 minutes to breathe slowly, letting your body settle into calm. In neuroscience, this creates coherence between your heart and brain, a state that shifts your entire nervous system. When you enter the day in coherence, you're already tuning the dial of the mirror. From this place, even small interactions feel different, and synchronicities have a fertile ground to emerge. The second action is embodiment through micro-behaviors. Choose one archetype, the abundant one, the healer, the beloved, and ask yourself, how would this version of me sit, walk, or speak right now? If you consistently rehearse the physical and emotional cues of your future self, your subconscious begins to accept them as normal. Over time, the mirror adjusts. Life starts reflecting that new archetype back to you in the form of opportunities, connections, and coincidences that match your posture. The third action is reflection without judgment. Each night, take 2 minutes to scan your day and notice the synchronicities, big or small. Maybe someone reached out unexpectedly. Maybe a number pattern caught your attention. Maybe a conversation aligned perfectly with what you've been contemplating. Don't overanalyze. Just acknowledge them as signals that the mirror is responding. This simple practice builds trust and strengthens your awareness of the feedback loop. Many people in this community have shared how these small actions shifted their reality. One person began practicing the archetype of calm leadership, and within weeks, colleagues started seeking their advice without being asked. Another embodied gratitude before any external success, and then randomly received an unexpected opportunity. These stories aren't rare, they're natural outcomes of consistent embodiment. If you want to take this further, I've created something called the Trail. It's a structured path designed to help you go beyond theory and organize these practices into a daily rhythm. Inside, you'll find step-by-step exercises that help you embody your future self, align body, mind, and heart, and notice synchronicities with more clarity. Think of it as your guide for walking steadily toward the reflection you want to see. If you're ready to deepen this work, the link is in the description. Remember, the mirror isn't waiting for you to prove yourself. It's waiting for you to align yourself. And when you do, the reflection changes faster than you think. Here's something important to remember. Even once you start embodying your future self and aligning your state, you will slip. You'll have days when old patterns come back, when fear creeps in, or when frustration makes you forget everything you've practiced. And that's not failure, that's being human. Those of us on this path often assume that once we get it, the journey should feel smooth forever. But the truth is, alignment isn't about never falling out of coherence. It's about how quickly you return. Think about it like tuning a guitar. Even the best musicians know their instrument will go out of tune. Sometimes in the middle of a performance, the mastery isn't in avoiding detuning, it's in how skillfully and calmly they bring it back into harmony. The same applies here. Relapses into old states are normal. What matters is whether you judge yourself for them or use them as feedback. Every time you notice scarcity sneaking back, or you catch yourself doubting, the mirror is simply giving you information. It's saying, here's the state you're embodying right now. Do you want to stay here or shift? That perspective turns setbacks into reminders instead of punishments. So when you stumble, and you will, know that you're still part of this community of people walking the same road. We all fall, and we all recalibrate. That's how growth works. And every return to alignment makes the next one easier, until synchronicities once again begin flowing in your direction. Before we close, I want to offer you a small but powerful action. Think of one word that represents the state you want to embody from this moment forward. Not a wish, not a distant dream, but a state you can step into right now. Maybe it's abundance, maybe it's love, maybe it's clarity, peace, or courage. Choose that word and let it be the seed you plant into the mirror of life today. Comment that word below, not just as a routine action, but as a symbolic declaration. When you write it, you're telling both yourself and this community, this is who I am choosing to be. And when dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of us declare together, we create a collective field of alignment, a mirror larger than any one of us could create alone. Do you remember the question I left open at the beginning? If life is speaking to you through synchronicities, what is it trying to say right now? Here's the answer. It's telling you that the reflection is ready to change the moment you are. And the very act of choosing your word is the first step in shifting that reflection. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You are not someone trying to force life to listen. You are someone whose very state determines what life reflects. That's your identity now. A conscious creator. Someone who understands that synchronicities follow alignment, not effort alone. Those of us on this path know it's not about waiting for proof before believing. It's about becoming the proof right here through how we think, feel, and act. When you begin to see yourself as the archetype of your future, the abundant one, the healer, the beloved, synchronicities stop being surprises. They become confirmations. They're reminders that you're walking in coherence with who you've chosen to be. And this journey doesn't end here. Every new video we share is another layer of practice, another reflection in the mirror, another step along the road. If this message feels aligned with your path, subscribe and stay connected. This is a space for people like us, those ready to embody change, not just chase it. The synchronicities are already waiting. The only question left is, who will you choose to be tomorrow when the mirror greets you again?